They said this was the end. Not officially. Not in press releases. But in tone. In smirks. In the way the world suddenly spoke past him, not to him. Saudi Arabia? Retirement league. Money move. He's done. Cristiano Ronaldo heard all of it. And once again, the world misunderstood him. The day the world stopped watching, or so it thought. December 2022. Cristiano Ronaldo signs with Al Nassr. No Champions League anthem. No packed European nights. No familiar stadiums. Just headlines. Loud ones. Cruel ones. For many fans in the West, this was the final chapter, a superstar fading quietly into irrelevance, trading competition for comfort. But comfort was never Ronaldo's language. And Saudi Arabia was never what they thought it was. What people don't see. From the outside, Saudi Arabia looks simple. Oil money. Desert heat. Luxury contracts. That's the lazy version. The version people repeat when they don't bother to look closer. Because what Cristiano Ronaldo walked into was not a vacation. It was pressure, just a different kind. A country watching him not as a footballer, but as a symbol. A league expecting him not to fit in, but to transform it. A culture with rules, traditions, and expectations the Western media never bothered to explain. There was no anonymity. There was no margin for error. Every move mattered. A different world, different rules. Saudi Arabia is not Europe. Life moves differently. Values are different. Boundaries are clearer. Cristiano arrived with his family, not as a tourist, but as a resident, and suddenly, every detail of his life became public debate. Where he lives. How he behaves. What he wears. What his partner can or cannot do. The internet speculated wildly. But speculation is cheap. Reality is complex. Inside Ronaldo's daily life. No nightlife. No paparazzi chaos. No distractions disguised as freedom. Instead, structured days. Controlled environments. Extreme privacy. Relentless training. Ronaldo wakes up early. Trains hard. Recovers harder. Gyms are private. Facilities are elite. Schedules are strict. This environment didn't suffocate him. It sharpened him. Because discipline thrives where noise dies. The weight of expectation. In Saudi Arabia, Ronaldo isn't just Ronaldo. He's a message. To young players. To investors. To the world. Every goal is proof. Every miss is magnified. Every reaction is analyzed. Fans don't just want wins. They want validation. That their league matters. That their football deserves respect. That this move wasn't a joke. Ronaldo carries all of that, every single match. And he doesn't complain. He adapts. The media got it wrong, again. Western media framed this as exile. But exile is when you're unwanted. Saudi Arabia wanted him desperately. And Ronaldo doesn't go where he isn't needed. What shocked journalists most wasn't the goals. It was his seriousness. No coasting. No smiling retirement tours. No easing off. He trained like a man with something to prove. Because he did. The silent cultural shift. Something changed the moment Ronaldo stepped onto that pitch. Stadiums filled. Kids wore his name. Global cameras turned east. Suddenly, Saudi football wasn't invisible. And Ronaldo understood the assignment. This wasn't about legacy padding. This was about impact. Why this story matters. This is not a PR fairy tale. This is not propaganda. This is a story about a different culture. A misunderstood decision. A man refusing to disappear quietly. And a world too arrogant to admit it was wrong. Behind the walls, pressure, silence, and the price of respect. What no headline explains is this. Moving to Saudi Arabia didn't make life easier for Cristiano Ronaldo. It made it quieter. And silence is dangerous, because it leaves you alone with yourself. The loneliness nobody talks about. In Europe, Ronaldo lived inside noise. Crowds. Media. Controversy. Constant stimulation. In Saudi Arabia, the noise stopped. There were no random fans outside restaurants. No cameras hiding behind corners. No nightlife pulling him out of routine. At first, it felt strange. Then it felt heavy. Because when the world stops watching, you're forced to ask one question. Why do I still do this? And Ronaldo already knew the answer. Life inside the compound. Cristiano and his family live in a protected residential compound. Private security. Controlled access. Strict rules. This isn't oppression. It's order. For his children, it means safety. For his partner, it means boundaries. For Ronaldo, it means focus. Freedom in Saudi Arabia doesn't look like freedom in Europe. But it exists, just quieter, more structured, less chaotic. And for someone obsessed with control, that matters. The cultural line you don't cross. Saudi culture is welcoming, but firm. Respect is non-negotiable. Public behavior matters. Modesty matters. Traditions matter. Ronaldo learned quickly that status doesn't erase rules. He adapted. Not because he was forced, but because he understood something many outsiders never do. You don't dominate a culture. You respect it. That respect came back to him, slowly, but deeply. Football without excuses. On the pitch, reality hit hard. Defenders were aggressive. Referees were inconsistent. Pitches weren't perfect. There were no European privileges. No superstar protection. If anything, opponents tried harder, because beating Ronaldo meant something. And when he missed chances, the criticism wasn't gentle. It was personal. This league didn't want a mascot. It wanted a leader. The moment doubt returned. There were nights when goals didn't come. When the heat drained energy. When the rhythm felt wrong. When the world mocked him again. Social media called it decline. Ronaldo called it adaptation. Because this wasn't about proving he could still play. It was about proving he could still suffer. Money was never the real price. People talk about the contract. The numbers. The headlines. What they don't talk about is the cost no one sees. Being misunderstood. Being isolated. Being judged from afar by people who've never been there. Saudi Arabia gave Ronaldo wealth. But it demanded patience. Humility. And restraint. The turning point. Then something shifted. Goals started coming regularly. Teammates trusted him. Fans believed again. Stadiums didn't just cheer. They listened. Ronaldo stopped being a foreign superstar. He became part of the league's identity. And with that came something unexpected. Respect. Why this part matters. This is where the illusion breaks. Saudi Arabia isn't paradise. It isn't a prison. It's a test. Of character. Of adaptability. Of ego. And Cristiano Ronaldo passed, not loudly, but deliberately. The backlash, hypocrisy, pressure, and the weight of being first. The goals didn't stop the criticism. If anything, they made it louder. Because the moment Cristiano Ronaldo succeeded in Saudi Arabia, the narrative had to change. When success doesn't fit the story. Western media had already decided what this move meant. Money over competition. Comfort over legacy. Silence over principles. So when Ronaldo kept scoring, kept training, kept demanding more, it broke the script. And when a story breaks, people don't fix it. They attack the character. Sports washing and the easy label. The word started spreading fast. Sports washing. A clean, comfortable accusation. It required no nuance. No understanding. No presence on the ground. Ronaldo was no longer a footballer. He was framed as a symbol, stripped of context, intention, and voice. But symbols don't wake up at 6 a.m. to train. People do. The double standard no one admitted. European clubs accepted the same money. Western corporations did the same deals. Leagues took the same sponsors. But Ronaldo was different. He was visible. And visibility makes you a target. Criticizing him was easy. Looking in the mirror was harder. Silence as a strategy. Ronaldo didn't argue on Twitter. He didn't give emotional interviews. He didn't defend himself publicly. He did what he always does. He trained. He scored. He led. Because for Ronaldo, silence is not weakness. It's control. Being first is always lonely. Before Ronaldo, Saudi football was ignored. After him, it was examined under a microscope. Every mistake became proof. Every success became suspicious. That's the cost of being first. You don't get applause. You get resistance. The moment the tone changed. Then other players followed. Big names. Serious professionals. Competitors, not retirees. Suddenly, the joke slowed down. Because movements don't start with comfort. They start with credibility. And credibility starts with one person willing to go first. The internal battle. Behind the scenes, the pressure didn't fade. Ronaldo knew this chapter would define how history remembered him. Not as a goal scorer. But as a decision maker. Every choice mattered. Every reaction was weighed. This wasn't football anymore. This was legacy management. Why this part matters. This is the part people avoid. The discomfort. The criticism. The gray areas. But growth never happens in comfort. And impact never comes without controversy. Cristiano Ronaldo understood that. And he accepted the cost. Life in Saudi Arabia didn't make Cristiano Ronaldo disappear, it forced the world to look beyond its own bias. He traded chaos for control, applause for responsibility, and comfort for a challenge few were willing to take first. In the end, the unfiltered truth is simple: Ronaldo didn't follow football's future, he helped move it.